Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. We're getting ready for our second series of the day, and that is going to be Supernova versus LiT Esports. This is a very interesting one for me because if you guys watched the promotions, you would be saying, well, LiT relegated Supernova. How are they back here? To that, we say, I don't know. Anyway, we're still going to be battling it out nonetheless, so it's kind of a rematch of what we've witnessed.
Yes, we do know. I said it earlier. They took EG's spot. Remember? I was there. Yeah, so were you. Good times.
Yeah, but it's just the part of the bit, Pete. It's part of the bit.
Okay. All right, bit on. Sorry.
Yeah, as we pull up the schedule right now, that was a very, very nice win that we did see from FlyQuest. It says LiT twice right there. I guess we really are getting lit onto this.
True.
But with Supernova versus LiT Esports, we want to start getting into the rosters right away so we can get into this game as fast as we can. For Supernova in particular, this team kind of came together before they were actually signed by an organization. This was something that was like somewhat of a super team for the tier 2 space. You know, two of them have already played in LCS. So they went around to teams just basically pitching this roster around, and Supernova was the org that saw it and said, we got to sign this.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting roster, to be honest. I actually think it's quite good. You got players like Shochi and Faisal who played together last spring for Fear, a team who had multiple top 4 runs in playoffs. And even in that regular split, you have a Ray, who we touted as a pretty skilled AD carry last year as well. Yep. And then you look at Kenby and Diamond, like you were hinting at, LCS experienced players who maybe things didn't quite work out for them, but something we tried to really push last year, Eric, and I'm sure you remember, is that this is the path to LCS.
Yes.
So trying to earn your way back, it starts here.
And now here's a pretty fun team they are up against. It is LiT Esports. This is what we've been waiting for years and years. Beat down Dragoon in tier 2. We finally get to see his debut tier 2 match.
We did. And LiT Esports is actually a roster I am particularly excited about for a lot of different reasons. I mean, this roster made some pretty great waves during the promotion tournament last summer. I mean, shout out to Rock Boom for having some pretty insane plays, and that was how he got on my radar right away. But also Kizno, who previously played for Supernova. His first year of competitive was in 2023, and he's improved so much already since then. And it's always fun to see how far players like that can go.
Well, for LiT Esports, they wanted to get hyped up on this roster, so they made a little content piece. We're going to be throwing into that right now.
Going into the tournament, we were understandably upset with a lot of things that were happening. It was a very unfortunate season coming into us. We lost 2 of our main players, which caused a lot of issues. But thanks to the help of our amazing sports psychologist, he made sure that we kept focused going into the tournament. The initial thought was we'd maybe win a series, maybe 2 if we got lucky, but we didn't expect to go undefeated.
But Dragoon can't get on just yet. Alorm doing a good job to peel, and now Chad has a route for the fight. Messages trying to zone out, but that's 2 kills going over to Dragoon.
We thought that Mirage Alliance was the hardest team there. That was our first team that we faced. And when we won the first game in the fashion that we did, we just knew that everything else would be easy.
Okay, Dragoon. The Mirage Alliance support is caught out. Dardoch just goes down. Dragoon's on a killing spree, but now the keeping verdict will make it a numbers advantage for Mirage for now. Teleport coming in. Message is looking to rejoin the fight, but Dragoon is just too big. He dunks him down for a double kill, and he's looking for more. It's the triple. It's the quadra. Give it to him. Dragoon smash! A pentakill for the LiT Esports top laner, and they will take game 1 of this series.
I realized that we could win the tournament after Dragoon's Darius Penta versus Mirage. I think that's when we snowballed a lot of our momentum. There was nothing that could stop us.
It started off with a pentakill for Dragoon, and it ends with LiT sending Mirage Alliance to the lower bracket. I don't know what else to say.
The TP if you want to join in. The pull not going to connect. The Rift Arrow so low. Usually trying to go in. That's going to be the team coming in, getting a lot of damage on NXI. Trying to go for the pull. They're going to be looking to kill. NXI low. Going to be the first casualty. There goes Lunacia too. The fight in. LiT Esports. They can't stop them.
When you guys won, how did you feel during that moment?
Straight up, like, it was euphoric. 3 days before, I had to drive through a hurricane to pick up my top laner. We were all going through so much in that short span of time. If things went bad, this was my last split. I wouldn't be doing anything else after that point.
This game's looking over before he can do anything. NXI, he's gone. No longer having to worry about that. This is the story. The 6th seed, everyone was saying at the very beginning, this team shouldn't even be here, yet they are now in the first of 2 qualification matchups facing off against Supernova. That's one hell of a Cinderella story here.
He feels comfortable stepping off. He's double 12 off the time. Here we go.
Here we go. Pluck so quick on that engage. He found the entire backline. Plucks. Fucking dead. To our winners. Qualified first. LiT Esports. Running it back, baby. That is LiT Esports. Always happy to hear the comms and just like the sounds. I'm not even saying like words. It's just sounds, loud sounds that come out of these comms from it. Pure excitement, man. It's good stuff.
It's gotta feel good because you know what you're playing for, and in that moment, like you're breaking down the Nexus turrets and you're about to win the game. Like you're like, guys, we made it to NACL, so good for them, honestly. Now they're here, and now they're trying. Now we're gonna see if they're going to be able to hang.
And for both of these teams, they're kind of suffering through very similar things. I talked with Dragoon, and he was talking about how it's been a little bit of a mixed start for LiT Esports. They all took breaks, so they got to scrims later than a lot of the other teams, as well as Shochi, who told me on the side of Supernova that, you know, this is a team that the environment has been up and down. There's a lot of experience. There's a lot of strong opinions. So it's about getting that team cohesion together. Both of these teams are now looking to display that on their first match of the season.
Yeah, it's hard with newly formed rosters. So at this point now, we're going to see what these teams are going to be prioritizing. We got a little bit of a peek on what other teams like TLC and FlyC are going for. This time around, though, LiT, Seraphine, Karma, Ash, these are 3 champions that I think must be banned the most at this point in these last 2 weeks, and for good reason. You leave something like Milio up, SN are going to take it.
I mean, Seraphine and Karma just give so much power to teams who are able to draft it and go with these solo lane carry comps. So you got to take that away, especially Array and Diamond. They're very, very capable players in that regard. As Milio, as you had mentioned earlier, is the first pick. Now it's LiT Esports to grab their next one coming up here. And they are going to go for the Callista that's going into the hands of Rockboom, as he will be locking that in, second pick to come.
Yeah, curious to see if we just end up getting a strong jungle pick grabbed here, maybe the Xin Zhao, the Vi, or something along those lines, because you know the Renata is not going to be taken away, so you may as well pick a premier jungler like the Vi coming through here, and I like that move, just because if that's the play you're going, I actually kind of like Vi Renata as a combo, because usually I say champs like her need a dive buddy, but if she is full sending it, everybody is looking at her, which means everyone is going to get hit by that hostile takeover.
On top of that, it's a great Kisno champion. Kisno plays a lot of these champions that like to get into your face. Nocturne's one of them. We could full send it with the Vi, so happy to have that. But we saw what happened last series. If you have a Callista, one of those very, very valued counter picks is the Poppy that can deny just her outright movement. So that gets locked in by Supernova.
Right, and Shochi really teasing me there with that hover, but surely it's going to be the Aphelios when we don't know what mid is going to be yet. Aphelios and Milio, a very strong combo in itself, and something that I will do really well, scales well into those later parts of the game.
I'm very curious for the mid lane more than anything else, because Shochi is someone who has a very wide champion pool, but if you saw him last year on Fear, he was very enabled by Minui, who would grab stuff like Vigar or Ziggs, and they would flex it around quite a bit.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, but Shochi has said, I talked to him and he did say that Array can be a little freaky sometimes. I don't know exactly what that means,
what does that
but
mean?
I don't know. As we get more Supernova games, I'm hoping to see that unfold.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'll be real, Aphelios isn't that freaky, but maybe in the next game, or if we go to a game 3, we'll see what that actually ends up being. And now, I like what we're seeing at this point. Now, both of these top laners have a pretty big specialty champs that are taken out of the way. Dragoons, Darius, as we know and love, taken out in that first rotation, and Faisal gets his Olaf taken out. These are champs that I think are really strong at the moment, and I'm glad that some respect is being paid towards them.
I mean, everyone's seen the Faisal Olaf clip where Magical's saying, "You leave him alone! You let him stay on his island!" That is the power of Faisal when he grabs that Olaf. He's truly one of the most disgusting Olaf players, so a very respectful ban coming out from LiT Esports. I'm just sad to see the Darius banned. I know that was banned a lot earlier, but it's a Dragoon special, man. One more ban to come out from the side of Supernova before we get into the second phase.
Colley's ban. What's the point? I don't even want to talk about this anymore. But I mean, I guess Orianna, this is banned. We're pinching the mid lane pool. That's very cool. I'm not depressed or sad at all. And at this point, you just got to decide what you're going to end up blinding. I mean, Cassante is still up. It's worth noting. And 2 champions that absolutely dunk on him are banned. So I think that would be fine. And then you give yourself that counter pick for mid. But I guess when you ban the Akali, you're really just, saying in big letters, I'm going to play Azir. So they're like, why hide it? Let's give Dragoon the best matchup.
Yeah, they just grabbed that outright. But this also brings us to the stage of the draft where we find out what Shochi's going to play, if he's cooking up anything spicy or not. And so far, I wouldn't expect that Senna to get locked in. It's going to be Talia that's locked in. So, yeah, he's cooking a bit. He's cooking a bit here, B.
Well, I like it because, Eric, I'm going to actually walk you through this one. Why did you like Poppy?
Why do you like Poppy?
Really quick, one ability. Pick one.
Steadfast Presence.
Okay, cool. What does Talia have? I can also do that.
She has a knockback. And the
Unraveled Earth. Exactly. Unraveled Earth. So you're really just, pun intended, laying out the groundwork to make it impossible for both the Azir and the Kalista to play this game. So LiT are actually going to have to be really careful on how they approach some of these team fights because they could end before they start.
This is miserable. You can't move, and then if you do move, you step on Legos, and your day is just miserable after that.
I felt that. Why did you say that?
That's the kind of pain we're going to be suffering right now, at least through poor messages and Rock Boom. But the final lock, it is going to be a Garen Dragoon. Is that going to him? That's what I want to see, man.
It's been, honestly... Draft is a little bit saved, I'm not going to lie. One, it's a good matchup into the Cassante, and 2, it kind of fits that paradigm I was talking about earlier, that Olaf and Darius, and why I think they're really good as well. Because all the champs that are meta across the rest of the lanes on Summoner's Rift, they're low mobility, and you can just get run down by the champions like Garen. So Dragoon is going to be really nice in that mid to late game, and is going to give LiT a little bit of an edge in these team fights.
Yeah, it's going to be hilarious, dude. Dragoon's going to run straight at Array. And what's Kenvy going to do? Put up Steadfast Presence? I'm walking to your
I'm
marksman.
literally sprinting.
I am going to stab him. I am not jumping.
Yeah. I wonder... He jumps for his Q. I wonder how that interaction goes. It's probably nothing. But,
No.
But either way, yeah, he's just going to be sprinting and running you down.
So Ray's going to have to watch out. It's a good thing he has the Milio, because that does provide some level of appeal, as well as some of the other champions that Supernova did draft. But you are ready to hit the Rift right now. Supernova, LiT, yet to do their first matches now, unfolding
30 seconds until
to hit the Rift. 5-point spreads coming out for both of these teams.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be very interesting later into the game for LiT Esports, because at the end of the day, they are going to have a tough time. Again, there's so many ways to prevent Rock Boom from making the magic happen in these team fights. That is Kalista Renata. And something I usually like to see when you draft Renata into Milio is that you pick another AoE type ultimate, so you kind of make Diamond have to choose where he's using that Breath of Life. At this point, his only choice is, oh, are we getting a hostile takeover? Okay, I'm just going to press my R key, and we're good.
Now, Beat,
Yes.
I need to ask you a question, man.
What's up?
I talked to Shochi, and I asked him what shonen would best encapsulate this man.
Oh, yeah, he said Blue Lock.
He said Blue Lock. It's a sports
so
anime.
real,
It's about
though.
soccer. You've heard of it. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Okay, I don't want to get too in detail, but most sports anime suck. Blue Lock, on the other hand, it's so good. And basically what he's just trying to tell you on is he is on this path of personal development, and he's just trying to be the best he can be. And that's what it's all about, man. That's why I love Blue Lock. That's why I love Shochi. He makes the best references. He's also a good player.
He had said that the story of Blue Luck apparently parallels his time with Fear. And even right now, as he rejoins with Faisal, something like that.
Kind of.
I feel like you get the references more than I do, so I'm just batting them up for you.
No, I appreciate it, but I mean, these are references. It would take too long to explain. Just know the audience. He's basically
watch the
right.
anime, man.
A,
Just
watch the anime. B, if you don't, he's right. So, and he has a lot of impact this game as well, because he is playing that Taliyah again. Not only can he use that Unraveled Earth to make the lives of Gizno, Messages, Rock Boom very difficult, but in Taliyah, we know that she's able to get out of lane and affect side lanes very easily with that ultimate as well. So be on the lookout for him to do that.
Now, what about this speed? Kenvi, he's pinging into the jungle of Gizno right now. He might be looking for an invade on this blue buff.
Which will be very interesting. He just got vision down, so he's going to see Gizno go for the cross. What he actually wants is to go for a gank here, because the wave is a pretty even spot. Kenvi can just send it.
And Steadfast Presence again. It's
Nice
terrible
flash.
when
they
you're
got him.
Kalista able to catch out
One more
Plex.
auto.
One more auto, but the heal comes out from Rock Boom. It will save his support.
Still, honestly, pretty well played from Kenvi to immediately get that flash and knock back with the E. And because Plux is basically out of the picture, you can try to pressure Gizno out, but Kenvi, you don't have your W.
He stayed a little bit too long. He's burning
Don't tell me he's
down.
alive.
He doesn't die. Instead, it's Gizno who falls. Shochi gets first blood.
I want everyone to know right now, that was not smart from Kenvi. Nobody praise him. He got bailed out by that disgusting Milio champion because...
That was some bull, dude.
Dude, you 1v1 the Vi because you can cancel her Q with your Steadfast Presence. But it's a long cooldown. If you don't have that up, don't fight her. But I mean, Diamond's the GOAT, man. I don't know.
You telling me it's not calculated? You telling me they didn't plan this out from,
Maybe
straight from
Diamond.
the
If
boardroom,
you told
man?
me Diamond did, maybe. But nah, man. I don't know. That was a little too crazy.
That was absolutely wild, but it's going to be a good start coming out for Supernova. And again, Shochi had pitched this as sort of a super team, right? We talked about it a little bit before, about some of the experience this team does have. I mean, you've had, what was it, Diamond, who was in Dignitas. It was Kenvi, who was in Immortals. Even Oray was a Golden Guardian sub at some point, even if he didn't see stage play. So lots of talent that's definitely been acknowledged at some point that wants to fight their way back up.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of don't like the use of the term super team
Yeah, it's weird
in the developmental
using it in
league.
tier 2, right?
But I think what you're trying to say is
It's
that...
the way he pitched it. It's the way he pitched
okay,
it. I'm
fair
just
enough.
using
You're
his
quoting
words.
him. Okay, fair enough. But I think ultimately, I see where he's coming from. I mean, you have you have players who are either very experienced who are on the come up, who have shown a lot of skill these last 2 years. So it is interesting to see how a team like this is going to perform as time went on. It can be. He's a level down on Gizno, but that's what that fight should look like. When you have the Steadfast Presence up, then you can do it.
And Shochi has priority, so he can just move on up to these Raptors and kick Gizno out.
Yeah.
But that's Kenvi. He's very active on the map already. He's been on that bot side jungle of Gizno. He's been on that top side jungle of Gizno. Now he's pinging the Void Grubs.
Right, it's going to be tough though. Dragoon is level 6, has the Ignite. He could just decide that he wants to fight Kenvi. And Kenvi dies just by his whim as he continue to breathe.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not even a joke.
Garrett's the original Mordekaiser. I
don't know who
pick
came out
I'm
first,
gonna
so I
fight,
believe
and I'm
you.
just gonna run after you.
Oh yeah, that's kind of fair. In a more rudimentary way. That means that Kenvi can only get one of them, and it's just going to end up backing off. But you see the pings on the minimap. Doesn't mean that Supernova looking like they want to move towards that dragon pit, or at least set up vision. Again, dragons, they're what really matter here.
And that's one of those strategies we talked about before. Just take one grub and move on down to the bottom side to Drake stack. Said they matter, they damn well do, and Shaden definitely acknowledges that. His red buff will be spawning soon, and then he can start making plays around that side.
Oh, speaking of plays,
Faisal's looking for one onto Dragoon. Solo Bolo gets found, and Faisal makes it look good.
Matchup beat down. This is one of Faisal's most played picks of 2023, and he's looking to deliver again this year too. Really nice solo kill coming through, and it's tough because Dragoon, he's rocking the Ignite, has no teleport, so this is not how you want these matchups to go. You're going to actually end up losing out on golden XP, especially if you get solo killed repeatedly.
Supernova will get the setup onto the Dragon. Diamond kind of holding the choke point right now. It seems like LiT want to find a response to it, but it's going to be far too late. Or will it? Kizno's actually close enough. No, it gets secured by Kenby. Now LiT are looking for the fight on the back end, but Array has messages low. Now gets pulled right back in. Kizno, the right hook to the jaw of Array. The burn is not enough, and Supernova get the Dragon and get out.
Yeah, really big deal there. I think that Dragon was always going to be theirs. I mean, you look at what Messages is sitting on in his inventory right now, and it's really just the recurve bow. So no actual, like, damage stats aside from just the attack speed coming through here. So now Shochi is in trouble.
That was a nice alley-oop. Straight and simple. Messages tosses it up, and here comes Kizno. Dunk!
I mean, yeah, it's a real Wade and LeBron moment coming through there from Messages and Kizno, and it's gotta feel good. I mean, Shochi hovering to where he had vision, just didn't respect the fact that his vision wasn't deep enough.
Messages will help LiT get into a situation where they do find a kill of their own, find some priority onto this map. Kizno, depending on where he wants to play towards next, I mean, his red buff is up, and he does have a lot of prio towards his top side. The only problem is there's not too much to fight over on that side of the map. Bigger objective is going to be Dragon, but we still got a while before that comes up, so shouldn't have the most contested map.
Well, at the end of the day, it is going to be still about Shochi playing this Talia. He, is having his jungler hovering him at the moment, but also he has that constant push in this mid lane. And now he has that ability to use the ultimate or just straight up walk to set up a play on this bottom side of the map, as you can see.
Yeah, Kenby gets spotted out. Flux was scouting out for that position, but this means that this bot lane's not getting any farm. You can chase away from the wave and more plates go into Array.
As long as... Okay, everybody's walking away. And it's brutal. They have to drop a good bit of that wave. And like you said, they're not getting farmed.
Ooh. Trying to get some picks here on the Messages. Instead, the cease and desist will land.
Wow.
Shochi turns it around and rocks Kizno's world. Supernova grab another kill.
Props to Kenby. Really nice play there as well to get the flash into the slam into the wall. And you basically just changed CC so that Kizno didn't even have time to flash. And that's tough too, because you already got a lot from forcing Rock Boom and Flux off the wave. You also got a kill now as well, so it just makes it even tougher for LiT, who are further in the hole.
1.1k in the lead is going to be Supernova, and all their lanes doing quite well. The only one to go down was Shochi on that play earlier, but he's definitely making up for it as you see the gold still in the lead to his counterpart Messages.
Yeah, part of it is the extra kill that he's gotten for himself. As long as he continues to keep up that pressure, things are going to end up looking pretty good there. Right now, though, what really scared me is that Dragoon is just using whatever wave push he can to look for roams, and he could have made a play onto Shochi, but he decided to walk away.
Faisal paths down towards the grubs, just getting some vision there. Trying to ensure we're not going to have a 6 grub situation while Kenvi goes for the invade on the blue buff. No one really in position to try and fight this out, but Kizno instead, he doesn't want to fight. He just wants to steal it, gets it with the smite, now has to flash out of it, and here comes Shochi on the Weaver's wall. Seismic Shell goes out, doesn't land. Fate's Call's going to pull one away, but see ya, Kizno. He'll be the first one to fall, setting up for the tower dive will be Supernova, but Messages has arrived, lands it onto Shochi. Shochi gets low, but so does Rock Boom. Plux is able to take down Shochi, and so far a 1-for-1 trade can be pulled back, and that's where it will equalize.
They get something back, but it's on Plux. Uh-oh. They have a bit of something coming through here. Faisal likes it.
Faisal is him. He goes after Dragoon underneath the tower. Will not get the dive, but makes his presence felt.
Wow, and he's forcing Dragoon out of the lane. So again, no teleport means he's going to be losing out on quite a bit. That CS lead is just going to continue to grow. And just talking about the rest of the map as a whole, I think we appropriately built up how tough that bot lane matchup's going to be, Eric. Well, how about when the mid and jungle of your opponent also show up? Because they have just been putting the screws to Rock Boom and Flux this entire game.
Yeah, there's no real answer coming out from LiT. I mean, What, you want some late game scaling to come online for Messages? He's doing decently, but that's pretty much it for LiT right now because the plays are going Supernova's way. Kizno, we'll go after the Void Grubs for the time being, but we said the name of the game is Drakes, and that's where Kenvi is.
Right, it's going to be pretty easily a second Drake picked up there for Supernova. It's why everything's about bot lane here in Season 14. And yeah, you know, the consolation prize is the Void Grubs that Kizno will just go ahead and grab for himself because that's really all there is. And now, let's talk about what LiT need to do to win a team fight here. We kind of touched on it in Champ Select, and it really is just about Kizno trying to full send on somebody, followed up with that hostile takeover from Flux. But every fight feels like it's been on Supernova's terms, not LiT. Because of how far they continue to fall behind, it is going to be hard for them to force them.
I want to point out the bottom lane, more specifically Rock Boom and Flux on this Ballista Renata. If you leave the laning phase at a big deficit, it feels terrible as a Callista to try and fight your way back into this one. And Ray's on a Felios, so that means the scaling's only going to get better for Supernova. It really does give very few avenues for LiT to fight their way back in.
It's going to be tough. They still have a pretty decent all-in combo, and that's really all they have to lean on, especially given, again, like you said, Rock Boom pretty far behind, down 30 CS and an assist to Ray. And you got to also consider the turret plates he's gotten for themselves. I'm going to go ahead and see. Oh, sad. It's okay.
It's okay.
Array is really fed right now. Source, trust me, bro.
It's all right. We can always just manually look at the gold in the bottom whenever that does pop up.
Oh, yeah,
See, there we go. It's back up.
Woo.
600 gold.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a good look.
Pretty much everyone having a lead. The only thing that's kind of matched is both Kenvi and Kizno, which is some level of expectation. I mean, you get a pretty fast clear coming out from Kizno. He has been on top of the Void Crubs as well, but everything else is definitely pretty tough for him.
Even this Rift Herald, you can see Supernova are just faster on switching up their lane assignments. And Kenvi is already hitting this Rift Herald. His bot lane is already shown up mid. Shochi is right there with him as well. So it's just going to be another neutral going the way of SN. And it just means more structures are going to be going down their favor. I just realized the structure hasn't actually fallen yet. But now they got Herald. It will. Kenvi, get the eye.
Kenvi.
Hey.
Kenvi. Diamond, go get it. Diamond,
oh, okay,
hurry up.
maybe they said give it to Diamond so they can give the gold to Array. Okay, I'm just going to...
That's canon. We're just
Benefit
saying
of the doubt.
Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. We've seen it happen in the past, okay? So don't mind us if we're terrified of someone just walking away from an eye they just earned. That's something we got to bring up on an interview. All right, now look at the positioning coming out from LiT Esports. Oh no. Messages, his ultimate and his flash get burnt away. The rest of LiT are going for a little bit of a deep invade over here into the jungle of Supernova. Getting some positioning in. I mean, this vision is going to work out if you want to contest around this Drake. This would be the one that gets them towards Soul Point, them being Supernova. But there's not really much else to do on that quadrant of the map, and it's allowing Supernova just freely grab this turret.
You're right, and it just makes it easier to set up for the Drake in about a minute 40's time. Usually what you do is you try to push this top wave in far, and then you recall and set up for the Drake because someone will have to answer it. But instead, they're making a play.
Oh, goodness gracious. Shochi and Kenvi are syncing up so well. Kenvi goes low. Shochi can't get the kill, though. Messages just barely surviving once more. Good attempt at the play, though.
That is actually, I mean, well played from Messages to be able to walk away from that one on top of the minion diff. But it does mean that Messages will be able to show up to this fight. He won't be dead. And a couple key resources were used by Supernova to try and go for that play. Weaver's Wall no longer available for Shochi. Pretty sure Kenvi flashed just there to try and make that play possible. So this does mean that this is probably the best chance LiT's had this game so far to fight for something. Dragoon, don't die as I say that.
My biggest worry is just that flash. That is something you can get pressured around if Messages doesn't have that and they do want to contest. Gonna have to be careful, as already looking for more is
nice.
gonna be messages. Never mind being careful. Let's just Shurima shuffle. Handshake lands on Kenvi. Kizno follows suit. Cease and desist gonna land onto Array as well as the hostile takeover. ADC is isolated, but will be able to escape thanks to the ultimate of Kenvi. Now Faisal continues the pursuit. Shochi on the back end looking for the damage. Fate's call gets utilized. Now here comes Kizno, finally able to clean up Array, and Dragoon drops the sword down onto the head of Kenvi, and suddenly LiT are looking like they have some fight left in them. Spin me right round, baby, right round. Comes Dragoon looking for Shochi. Shochi runs critically low, but here is Faisal, all out and all in. Takes down Dragoon, and it's gonna be a 2-for-1 exchange.
Yeah, still a great look coming through from LiT, and it starts off with messages finding the great angle onto Array with the Emperor's Divide. And we talked about it. This was that moment for LiT to make something happen, and they did just that. Deserex, they've halted the dragon stacking, and now they've finally given themselves a little breathing room in this game.
A little bit of breathing room thanks to that dragon picked up, thanks to that fight won. Shochi coming in, looking for Rock Boom, corners him into the blue buff pit, but fortunately he is a Callista, can just hop, skip, and jump right over the top. Now here comes Kenvi, slams him into the wall before he can move. Even with the bailout, you got no one to get an assist off of. It is going to be a secured kill for Supernova.
I was a little greedy, Rock Boom. As soon as you see Kenvi, I think you just got a flash there, brother. It ends up getting punished for it big time. Allows this gold lead to continue in Supernova's favor. I mean, just another turret right for the picking in the mid lane as Array. I mean, he has the chakrams ready to go. It should be really easy for him to knock this one down. Kizno is nearby. He's lurking.
Yeah, but so is Kenvi to provide that protection for Array. So the mid lane turret goes down and the lead continues to build for Supernova. As we have 4 minutes before the next Drake comes up, LiT again did stop the dragon stacking, so that dragon not going to be as crucial as it was at least a little bit earlier. It's nice to see that LiT do have some fight left in them. A lot of that did come from Kizno and Dragoon, just basically running at the face of Supernova and showing the kits of these champions what they can do, how they can hold down, and how they can swing.
Now my eyes are still really on Kizno, because now Array Splash is down. And I want to see them make a play on him again to try and use that cease and desist, use that hostile takeover, and just basically throw everything in the kitchen sink at this man. Because if you get Array off the map, you can slow down the lead he's gotten for himself. Oh, it's over.
Seismic shove, that's all it really takes. If you're able to dodge
don't
that,
miss.
then Dragoon has an angle in.
Wait,
but
this
now,
damage though.
Oh, the damage is coming in. I don't think it's enough. It almost was. The heads will roll, but Shochi gets to keep his connected to his neck. Not
even close. Jokes aside, Shochi, you should recall. Either way, really nice play coming through there from Kenvi. And he's honestly, at one play aside, has had a pretty solid game so far, and hey, it is the Poppy that is just fantastic into basically LiT's entire composition. And he's been making good on it. It's just Poppy things. Good for him.
Just walks up to 3 enemies. Oh, you have that bush. Yeah, my bad, I'll leave. And you can, because you're Poppy. Steadfast presence. It's movement speed and the denial of movement gives you quite a bit of utility into just one move. Taking a look at the vision right now, it's LiT Esports who are pushing their vision over towards this top side of the map. That's where Dragoon was trying to make that play earlier. They have some control over there, but again, my eyes are going to be towards the dragon. It's 2 minutes before that does spawn, and they do have some time to move that over as they play towards the sidelines.
For the moment, things have slowed down quite a bit. Array Splash, we were talking about before, is almost back off of cooldown. So window closing on a potential play here for LiT Esports. The play opening for Supernova.
Looking for this top side, but Dragoon kind of smells it out. Will be able to back off. He's still being very cautious because that's the way the map has kind of changed is a lot of teams can kind of lay and pray in the jungle, and that's what we're getting right now. Is going forward, it's going to be Kenvi. Lands it onto Kizno. Handshake comes out. Looking for more is going to be Faisal. Able to get the knockback onto Plux. Plux is taking a lot of damage. Fake's call is going to be used from Rock Boom to protect the support. Rock Boom does not want to go forward. Might risk getting caught by Seismic Shove. Messages him on the side, looking for the shuffle. Spotted out by Supernova. And Supernova just kind of throwing their authority around.
And as is their right. And now Array, Flash is off cooldown any second now. Has plenty of DPS to throw with this turret, and it's going to be in time because Dragoon is looking for a flank angle, but he is spotted out because the vision game is just so good there from Supernova. And even though LiT stopped that third Drake going their way, now, I don't know if LiT can make it happen.
Ooh, they're caught out. A double seismic shove against the wall. They are apprehended by Supernova. Going further for Plux. They don't just want 2, they want to make it 3, but Plux is able to flash out and get away. Now trying to turn around is going to be Rockboom and Dragoon as he spins down onto him like a Beyblade. 2 kills picked up right back for LiT.
Actually not bad, all things considered. Like, you're 2 for 2. Dragoon is full health, but he doesn't have the ult to play for. Really nobody does except for Kizno. Which means that this Dragon's up in 13 seconds. Once Kizno respawns, maybe this is your angle. It's LiT Esports.
Oh, they were hiding in the brush, going after Dragoon. Ooh, just punting away the bottom lane. Now Dragoon is left by himself, but Garen is pretty fast. Every time you pop that Q, you get some movement speed. Kenvi gonna deny a little bit of that with the steadfast presence, slammed against the wall, and Dragoon is down.
Another alley-oop coming through from Supernova. And again, something that LiT looked to have made into their favor with that 2 for 2 into a full health top laner. Immediately gets punished for face checking. And it means this is Soul Point coming through here for Supernova. 1 more Drake after this, and they'll have their Ocean Soul.
And LiT in such a struggle. Shochi controlling this bottom wave. Another Dragon picked up. Now LiT looking for an opportunity. Shochi's by himself. Emperor's Divide goes out. It is going to catch out Shochi. LiT able to get something back in what seems like a dire situation.
It is something, but it's not a whole lot, Eric. We need a lot more. And this game only gets harder because of the scaling that Supernova have on their side. I mean, Array has hit, well, he's passed that 2-item mark, as you can see there with the IE coming through. He's doing a lot of damage now. And we saw an example earlier of how hard it is for Plux to get a high-value ult on him. Because Diamond, all he has to do is hang out to the side and press his ult in response. Again, there's really no way around it unless you either kill Diamond or you force him to use it in a less than opportune moment.
Now the side lane setup for LiT is going to be top focused with Dragoon. Meanwhile, Supernova will be sending Faisal over to the bottom lane. As we take another look at that exchange that just happened, that just unfolded in front of us, I was really surprised that, you know, the positioning of Rockboom was able to still get 2 kills back for LiT.
Right, I mean, what it really was Dragoon for the most part. Messages goes in, he tries to go for this big ultimate and place down the Sun Disc, but it's so hard because even though he is getting pretty strong on the Sincere, everyone on Supernova are just miles ahead. So you're just waiting, Dragoon gets spotted out. Any second now, you'll see the play actually start to come through. And what made it happen was that the members of LiT got Supernova so low that Dragoon was able to have a pretty big play.
This double seismic shove is so impressive, and then you just get 2 of them bodied. It looks like a clean sweep for Supernova, but as you said, you can see Dragoon at the corner of your screen.
Oh, he's coming.
Doom.
That's right. It's really here. Rockboom kiting as best he can in this situation, even flashes to get over the unraveled earth, and sets up perfectly for Dragoon to help get 2 kills.
It's the pinwheel of death.
Is it pinwheel? Is that where you want to go? I would say windmill of death.
We can name it something different every time we see it. We got to diversify.
I don't know if I got that many in me. You know what? You might be onto something there.
Just prove my point, why don't you?
Okay, listen here. You're right. Supernova. Back to the game. They're just going to get another turret. You know what? This is just so hard for LiT. Eric, I want you to talk to me about it now.
All right, what am I talking about?
Talk about LiT. What's their way back in the game? Your opinion. I want to hear it.
All right, what's their way back in the game? Go into the second game of the series. You win that one. You win the third game. That's how you do it, baby.
Wow. Honestly, real. What? I didn't expect that from you. Hey, our gold graph is working. Let's go.
Hey. No, I don't think there's much hope. Like, you had a poor lane in the bottom lane. Rockboom did have his struggles. Like, your biggest hope is the scaling of that Azir. And even then, Like, look how well every single member of Supernova is doing. It doesn't take much to pop that Azir, take him off the map. So, I don't know. I'm not that. I'm not that. I don't believe that LiT can find.
What happened to you in the off season? Where's my super positive, borderline naive co-caster? What happened to him?
Okay, fine. Let me turn this around. See,
No, I'm not saying you have to go.
Shuffle, and he's gonna get all 5 of them, and Kizno's just gonna R every one of them one at a time as it comes off cooldown, and that's how they win.
Oh, okay, real.
We might see the real situation in just a second, because the battle lines are drawn, and through the fog of war comes Kenvi onto Kizno. Shield comes up, does provide some protection. He's not going to go down just yet. Weaver's Wall goes out, looking to take away some of the escape routes of LiT, but LiT still able to keep everyone alive.
And at this point, you just turn to Baron as Supernova, but they have so much vision that some people can actually play the push game. And it's Shochi just laying out so much damage.
Oh, Messages wanted to shuffle right there. Wasn't able to get close enough to Shochi. Got crowd controlled right before. Now Dragoon's low, has to flash out. And it doesn't feel good when you're a Garen flashing away.
No, sir. And now it's just going to be an easy Baron coming through here. I can't imagine a steal comes through in any way, but I mean, Dragoon passive is going off. Messages is TPing in. Here's the big shuffle you were talking about. It's got to be now.
I don't blame LiT. It's all or nothing. Do it now. Baron secured. Supernova grab it. Kizno fed to the Wolves. Will go down. Diamond grabs that kill. Now Messages still has his ultimate. Still has his flash. Looking for an angle. So is Rockboom as he peppers in the spears. Kenvi gets close. Steadfast Presence trying to block away Rockboom. Now going in his Messages, but he gets absolutely denied, and Shochi will shut him up. Now Kenvi walks forward alongside Faisal. They're going after the backline. Rock gets boomed, and now Plux is going to meet his bot laner in the respawn as Supernova take a team fight win.
And they're going to claim their Ocean Soul as the prize, Eric. Supernova just decimate team fight after team fight with barely a sign of life from LiT Esports. And now with the Baron buff in tow, we're at 29 minutes. One more fight is all it's going to take. And props to Supernova. And props to Messages. Really quick. Just the fact that he's so patient trying to wait. He needs 2 things to be on cooldown. That Steadfast Presence and the Unraveled Earth. And you can see once he gets his moment, he full sends it. Unfortunately, it's just way too late at this point. People have flash. There's so much support coming through from Diamond, and you just do no damage on LiT's team.
It was a really good effort, and like, if you look at this play, LiT kind of needed to make this play. It's not going to get better for them, so it makes a lot of sense that they go in for it. It's very much do or die. And Supernova, they've decided what that's going to be. It is die as they start marching towards the base.
Right, and it's just making sure, like, you can see the map now. All lanes pushed in big time, and Dragoon, sorry, buddy. You just didn't quite hit the threshold, maybe if you're level 16. But that kill in the Ocean Soul means you can just start pressuring this base. Because LiT Esports are down a man. They're Baroned up minions that they're dealing with on top of them.
Yeah, an assault coming from the mid lane, coming from the bot lane. Tower going down, the inner does fall. As the Weaver's Wall comes out, Diamond goes over. Kizno misses. And now he is going down at Shochi, who's able to grab that kill. Rockboom taking a good chunk of damage from Array in the process. But Array just snipes down his support thanks to the hostile takeover. Hey, it's a moral win at this point as now Plux gets slammed right into the wall by Kenvi. Kenvi still positioning forward as it's Faisal who looks to find Plux. Out comes the seismic shove. Stunned up and dropped. The bailout's not going to be enough, and Supernova are looking fantastic as they take down Nexus number 1. They're going for Nexus number 2. They're going for game number 1, B.
Oh, and they've got it, Eric. They've got it locked. They're just going to have a little fun before they make it happen. But what a great start for their first match of the NACL this year. Supernova, a resounding victory.
And just, a little bit of office paperwork to do. Clean up the place. Go ahead and get yourself situated in your new home as you claim the base of LiT Esports. Supernova going 1-up in the series.
And I'm not going to play with you, Eric. That draft was really hard.
Yeah.
After 15 minutes, after 10 minutes, the Talia and the Poppy were just too good.
These
And
early
props
Kalista
to LiT.
picks, man, they get countered pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people play Talia, so maybe they were expecting Poppy. They're like, oh yeah, okay, cool, that's fine. They see Talia, they're like, oh, well, all right.
That's Shochi for you. You know, you can never really anticipate what is going to come out from his champion Galaxy. We're going to throw it over to short break. When we return, we'll get into game number 2, Supernova versus LiT Esports. Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro.